I like it.
Oh boy, we're fucking canceled. Back on our
We're
bullshit.
cancer. We are cancer.
No.
This is my story. Welcome back, Mystery Seekers, to episode 6 of the Mystery Society Season 3. Last week you watched Nate talk about,
Timothy Pitson.
Yeah, last week you watched Nate tell a story about Timothy Pitson and his disappearance. This week, I think, we need a little break from the...
This one's not gonna be sad?
No. Yeah, I think I wanted to stray away from the whole, missing little boys thing. So this one's a missing little girl.
Oh.
So in Gallup, New Mexico, on April 6th, 1986, a 9-year-old girl, Anthonette Cayedito, was taken from her home around 3 in the morning. The night before, her mother, Penny Cayedito, went out on the town with some friends, likely, and had the babysitter watching Anthonette and her sisters. I believe she has 2 sisters that all lived with her mother. She came home around midnight, sent the babysitter home, and then, I'm assuming, just passed the fuck out. Because if you're out at bars drinking, she probably just fell into a pretty deep slumber. Anyways, around 3 a.m., there's a knock on the front door, and Anthonette and her sister, Wendy, go to answer the door, and she asks who it is, and the person on the other side says, it's Uncle Joe.
Oh.
So Anthonette opens the door, and she's grabbed by an adult man, and they're apparently 2 adult men, and they throw her into a brown van and drive off. Wendy goes back to sleep.
What?
The next morning, when her mom wakes up to take her children to Bible study, she can't find Anthonette. So that basically, apparently Wendy later came out and said that she didn't even tell anybody, I think, at first, what she saw, because she said she was afraid she was going to get in trouble.
Okay, I can kind of understand that from a kid.
Yeah, kids, they kind of do stuff like that. And basically there's just no sign of Anthonette. They search for her and they have no clues to where she might have gone. She does have an Uncle Joe, but they immediately ruled him out, I guess, from suspicion. They didn't think he was tied to this at all.
Okay.
So this is where it gets weird, though. A year goes by with no sign of her, and then a phone call comes into the local police station, and it sounds like it's Anthonette saying who she is and that she's in Albuquerque. And then some strange man's voice comes over yelling at her, who said you could use the phone, and starts screaming at her, and she yells, and then it cuts out.
What the fuck?
Not a whole lot to go on, though. She just said, I'm in Albuquerque, and that's you can't really track somebody down like that.
I was gonna say they weren't able to trace.
No, they
the
couldn't
call.
trace it. I mean, this was a year later, so this was 1987.
Okay. God.
And then the mom, after listening to the recording, has stated that she does think it's Anthonette.
Oh my God.
4 years go by after that. And so in 1991 in Nevada, there was a diner, and this waitress... This was after, also to be fair, this was they did a mock-up of, how she would have been aged and what she would look like now, and that was released. So she's in people's minds. This waitress said that she saw somebody in her restaurant sitting with an older, disheveled couple, just kind of she said, just dirty and messy. She thinks it looks like Anthonette. Anthonette, or the person who looked like her, multiple times knocked her silverware off the table. And the waitress kept putting it back.
And so at this
Like
point,
she said,
she would have been
Anthonette-
12?
13, yeah. 5 years later. So she'd be 14. She'd be 14.
Okay, so it's not even like she was a little kid just messing around. She's a
No,
teenager. She knew what
teenager.
she was doing. Okay.
Yeah. And when she knocked it off the table and the waitress went to put it back up, she said this woman grabbed her wrist tightly and was staring at her. And anyways, they finish their meal and leave. And when they're cleaning up the table, she said when they moved one of the plates, underneath one of the plates was a napkin that had "help me" and "call the police" on it.
So the waitress in this situation fucked up by not recognizing that this teenager was desperately asking for help.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm kind of speechless.
So it was 91. 99. In 99, her mom died.
Oh
my god.
She said her daughter said that she couldn't even like try and speak about Anthonette, or she would just break down. And they
Even
said that
long after?
she was dealing with it through substance abuse, alcohol, and drugs.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
I'll show you I'll let you guys hear the audio, but like the big questions are kind of. I don't want to assume the mom at all, but like there's a part of me that wonders if maybe she had been sold. I find it odd that she was also divorced. She was separated from her husband, and that a single mom raising 3 kids was able to go out and party and also hire a babysitter. Like all that's very like, how do you support that?
Yeah, and the thing that I was wondering is how these 2 men would have known that there were going to be young children.
Yeah.
And most likely young girls at this house.
Yeah.
That they could just go up to the door, most likely expect it to be answered, and grab one of them.
Not only expect it to be answered, have the answer, "I'm Uncle Joe."
Yeah.
And she has an Uncle Joe.
Exactly. Yeah.
How would they know that information? If she is still alive today, she'd be 42 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, like, so the phone call, we have good reason to believe it was her. The restaurant, less of a reason.
Do we have footage of that?
Footage of the restaurant? No.
No.
We have audio from.
Oh, we have audio of it?
Cool. For the phone call. We have
Oh,
her phone
okay.
call to the police.
Well,
Yeah, I
I'm
wanna
sure that'll be fun to hear.
Yeah, I want to hear that really bad.
Hello. I'm Anthonette Cayedito. I'm Anthonette Cayedito in Albuquerque.
Okay, whereabouts in Albuquerque?
Who said you could use a phone?
Hello? Anthonette, where are you? Anthonette? Hello?
I'm fucked up about it.
Right? So she says,
Oh.
transcript, she says hello. She said, I'm Anthonette Cayedito. I'm in Albuquerque. She said, we're in Albuquerque. And then the man comes and says, who said you could use the phone?
Yeah.
And then
she just started screaming.
screaming and phone.
Can you?
Somehow that's honestly worse than like everything we've seen so far.
Yeah. Can I hear one more time?
The Gallup Police Department received the following call.
Hello?
I'm Anthonette Cayedito. I'm Anthonette Cayedito in Albuquerque.
Okay, whereabouts in Albuquerque?
Who said you could use a phone?
Hello? Anthonette, where are you? Anthonette? Hello?
Everything feels bad. That feels bad. I don't like that at all. That's so tragic and scary.
That voice sounds so weird.
The other one?
Yeah, it's so high.
It sounded like a woman.
It sounded like an older
well,
woman.
it was also far.
And exactly, yeah. So and a
was far away
phone
from the
connection
phone.
from the 90s.
Yeah.
It almost sounded. The first time I heard it, it almost sounded like a Wisconsin accent for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's definitely like Hispanic.
Who said you could use the phone? That's what it sounded like to me.
That also kind of sounded like his.
The way you just said it sounded Hispanic.
Okay.
It
well,
did.
those-
You're like, I can do an accent?
yeah.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
Damn, man.
Yeah,
that
that's a
fucking
tough one.
Sucks.
That's a tough one.
Hispanic accent.
That's not what's tough about this. all right. I don't know. You hear like every day about cold cases being solved and stuff like that, but I don't know. Like that's.
I mean,
a
it's
tough
been
one.
way
That's a
too
tough
long.
Yeah, it's been a very, very long
tough
time.
one.
That one.
Almost 40 years.
one. No, it should be 40 years.
Should be
It's
40
like 30 years.
Almost
It was
30
it was in
years.
'87.
So,
I don't know what it would be like. Somebody just watching the house who decided like there's kids here and they could do that, or
yeah, like what's the
or again like why would you after the mom's there? Why would she not wake up when there's somebody knocking at the door at 3 a.m. unless she
Well, I
is
guess
really
it
just
depends
drunk?
on like how close her bedroom was to the front door.
Why wouldn't
like-
they wake their mom up though? If they know their mom's home, why would they answer the door in the middle of the night?
If they were never told not to do that,
Yeah, but in the 90s, I mean, when you were growing up, didn't your parents always talk about like stranger danger and things like that?
my parents were very careful about that, but that doesn't mean that every single parent is going to be.
Okay.
Or like, I mean, or is there some kind of? I mean, of course there is, but does it have to do with some kind of child slavery ring or sex trafficking?
Yeah,
or
see, that would be
something
the
like
only
that?
motive I could think of, but there's nothing to base it off of. But it
Yeah.
makes sense. It's a good conclusion to draw.
That's a tough one.
But I mean, that's even more worrying.
Yeah,
You know, it's worse to think about even.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
You take him from your home while your mom's home.
Well,
Just,
there's
just
a lot of
snatched through
cases
your
like
front
that.
door. It's just. Yeah, well, if you have any theories on what you think could have happened, or maybe more details on what kind of like monster we're looking for really here, you know, we don't know much about it. So yeah, you know, leave your thoughts and comments below, and we will see you next week when Jen is going to tell us all about
Trevor Dealey.
Trevor Dealey.
I like this one. This is the one that we both had. And
It
then
is.
Jen said,
Jen stole another
"It's
one.
mine!"
I cut you.
Next
Yeah,
week
I
we'll
got
see Jen tell Nate's story
Fuck you, Taylor.
on Trevor Dealey. See you then.
My story.
Bye.
Bye.